Hello, I'm Elizabeth Nancy Jansen, and today is day 19 in the 22 Days of Truths series. And I'm very happy to be getting along in these Days of Truths in preparation for the book launch, which is happening very soon and on August 17th. And that's when this baby will be birthed, Bride Doll. And I'm so excited that you've come along on this 22-day event with me. And I'm very excited that this will finally come to publication and you will have the paperback available in your hot hands that you can read the whole book and enjoy this lovely, lovely story. And today's truth, day 19, today's truth is, does a true love exist? And I know my answer to this. I absolutely, flat out, truly, truly believe that yes, true love does exist. Now, if we go to the book and we see that in the first chapters that love with Adele and Jacques, true love for them is dedication, commitment through dedication to their commitment to the church, their commitment to the tradition of marriage. So marriage to them is through commitment to their vows and through their religion, not through passionate love. And so, different cultures have different ways of love, and studying different cultures, that is the way certain cultures are, or certain people are, and are content with that. So that is not, people define how they are going to love, or their cultures define it for them. And not every French Canadian is like that, but that is how it was defined at that time frame and generations before them. And it was part of the necessity of the farming life, and traditionally before them, the farming agricultural life. And so that is part of the tradition of the farming necessities of life. Now for Etta and Owen was deeply in love with Etta, and true love certainly existed for him. Now Etta, on the other hand, she was more in love in the terms of the traditional commitment of love, not necessarily the passionate side, or the enduring, for the adoring nature that Owen was. She was committed to her vow, but not necessarily definitely not the passionate loving, not the passion. So then we come to Monique and Flynn, and Monique truly, truly believed in true love. Yes, hands down for sure. She was all in true love. She loved her Flynn from the moment she saw him in that dance hall. She was attracted to him physically, and then she had her eyes, her sights right on him, and she never took her sights off him ever throughout the whole novel. As long as she is on the pages of this novel, she never took her sights off him. And for Flynn, true love, throughout the pages, he was learning about love. He never really experienced romantic love, and Monique was teaching that to him. And prior to the marriage, like every encounter with Monique, he was learning more about passionate love. She was such a unique person to him. His encounters with women were like a sailor. In the Navy, he was into ports, and his encounters with women were on port calls, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of encounters. He never had a romantic relationship with a woman before. So this was all unique to him, and he was learning it as he went along with Monique. And of course, he was loving it, but he didn't know the game plan until the next game was played, as in a hockey game. It was play by play, if you know what I mean. So he was learning about true love. And then the marriage happened, and then the reality of the religious aspects were the hard reality in the marriage that affected the game plan of the marriage. So let's keep moving on with true love. Now, Naya, we know that the bride doll, she was in her childhood, her favorite doll was this bride doll. And she had the fantasy of what true love was. And of course, during the time frame of Naya, so these bride dolls were the favorite doll of the mid-50s to the late 50s. These bride dolls were approximately this tall, so 18 inches tall, and they had these beautiful porcelain faces, and the hair was done up like this, and they had these tiaras in the hair and this veiling and the earrings that you could pull out and put back in, and the veiling came down, and the high neck with this sheer fabric, and the necklace that came on and off, everything was detachable. It was just so wonderful for this waif child to have had this doll, and the gloves that came on and off, and the tooling kind of sleeves. I should know the better word for the fabric. And this applique on the sleeve, so a sheer fabric, not the tooling. The tooling would have been on the skirt. And the shoes, these beautiful little shoes that came on and off, and a bouquet that you could detach from the hands and play with that. Everything was detachable. So, the idea of this dress was gorgeous. And so you'd play and imagine this wedding of walking down the aisle. So it was like hours of entertainment. And so, of course, this bride doll is on the cover. And in the book, I have this wonderful friend. His name is Anthony Walsh. And I commissioned him. He is a fantastic artist. And I commissioned him to do this beautiful piece of art of the bride doll that I had in my childhood. And I have the original piece of art in my studio, hanging in my studio. But, I just cherish this doll. So you'll see it in the book. And you can see the crown and the beautiful veiling and the bodice of this dress and the bouquet and the full gown and the trailing veil, cathedral veil. So the fantasy around all of this. And of course, this doll is marching, in the little girl's fantasy. Naya's little girl fantasy is marching, down the aisle to her groom, her true love. Of course, there's true love to this little girl. So in her adult reality, she is going down the aisle to her groom, Simon. absolutely believing that she loves him, albeit she had that nudge of her inner gut telling her to run when she didn't expect that, as the music was playing for her to walk down the aisle. She had no idea that her subconscious was telling her, boom, this dark feeling came over her and telling her to run. She didn't expect that to happen, but she fought it and she walked down the aisle and she could see her Simon. And she went ahead with the wedding. And she was totally committed and totally in love and believing in true love and her vows. But we know how that marriage unfolded. And, picking up on one example, her finding the key in his wallet and the name, a female's address, name and address in a yellow piece of paper as she unfolded that piece of paper and a key falling out. How does that make someone feel about the love of their life, their partner, their husband? How does that make you feel about your true love? And you're discovering and then affirming that when you follow up and actually drive to the address and you see his vehicle in the parking lot and you ring the button and he does come out of the apartment. Put all those pieces together and it comes out unfaithful. So that pretty much squashes the idea of the longevity of the true love there. But Naya still going forward doesn't squash her idea that true love does exist. And she builds herself up again and going forward, she has a lot of true love for herself. She doesn't give up on herself. So that's where the true love really exists. She loves herself. She doesn't give up on that. No matter what trials and tribulations, she knows she deserves love. She absolutely does. Life is about love, and she deserves it. And no matter what happens to her, she's going to get some of that. Yes, she was disappointed. Simon, he wasn't her forever person. No, he was not Naya's forever person. And she did some healing, but So going forward again, I'm not going to analyze the whole book. You're going to get to do that. But going forward toward the end of the book, Naya has a lot of fun. And she gets to her creative self. She finds a lot of freedom. And she finds creativity helps her, boosts her to get to her creative self. She finds community. She joins different groups. She finds love, not only for herself. Oh, there's Dolly. Shh. Dolly's wanting to get into this conversation. She finds a lot of love, and she finds she has love experiences that boosts her confidence in the ability of her sensuality and her sexuality. And she finds that she's a very sexual, sensual woman. And of course, she deserves all of that and wants all of that in her life, plus many other things, which I'll leave you to discover. And then going further on, she loves to travel. She loves to motorcycle. She loves to go very long distances in her motorcycle, and she does this by herself. Correction, she does this with her little dog, a teacup poodle. And she has wonderful adventures and experiences, and no hesitation to do these independently, which gives her character a lot of strength and affirms for her a lot of strength. Plus, she travels, and who does she meet when she has this solid foundation? When she is ready, she meets Arjan. And Arjan is ready to meet her. And call it divine, call it whatever, but true love, two people who deserve true love meet. And they instantly know that they are two people who need to meet each other and want to meet each other. Mostly the want. And the story develops and develops, and they're two people who love to have fun and love to travel and have wonderful intentions that align and wonderful core values that align and wonderful desires that align. Many desires that align. And they do traveling. And the book has many beautiful sights and travels that are unfold in the book. So true love does exist, and it is written about in the book. And there are many lessons, love lessons about true love, and the determination and the resilience and the passion to get there. So this little girl with her bride doll, she stood the test of time because she believed in herself to follow her heart, to find true love. Good job, Naya. Good job, Elizabeth Nancy Jansen.